Hello, hello, and welcome to another stream of Week 1 for the PSU Summer League. I am joined by Lord Wallace. How are you doing today?
So long. I was waiting for me to talk.
Yeah, but we are going to be spectating this Team 15 Undercover versus Team 16 Shadowmilk. You can take a guess of what Team 16 Shadowmilk is by all the aliases of Milk, but the other Team Alpha, that's Team 15 Undercover. Do you have anything to say about these two teams, Wallace?
Well, one thing for certain is that Team 15, they have Undercover Brella on their team. Yeah, you don't really see a Undercover Brella in this game. That is kind of a low-tier garbage weapon.
Very, very wise information, but it looks like we're going to be just jumping right on in to what looks like we're going to be playing on Zones Shipshape. Some very interesting weapons here. We see a regular Splatling and Carbon and Aerospray. A lot of interesting weapons here today.
Very unorthodox comp. But given, I don't know. We do Reef Slider Cheese here for Team 15. This is a Slider Cheese map. But knowing Max, he's probably running sub power up instead.
Yeah, and it looks like Shadowmilk is going to start off with an early lead, knocking down this this thing down to 80 and counting. We see the bubble online. It's going to be interesting to see where they pop that, but a lot of specials are going to be coming out very soon. Ooh!
That's a devastating Zuka there. Takes away their special.
Yeah, Shoes there with a very nice Zuka shot.
Carbon here, but they're marked as the end of their little escapade there.
Yeah, looking at this, Carbon's going to get a nice pick there onto Jello, and Shadowmilk still counting the score down. Looks like Undercover's just staggering, but they need to work together as a team. The other Carbon's going to get a pick Carbon on Carbon and Crime, as Shoes is going to be trying to work with this Booyah Bomb. Oh, but the bomb is going to get a double.
I don't think we mentioned it yet, but we got Carbon Ditto. And Team 16, how should I put this? While they don't have more paint, the Rebels have more consistent paint, is what I'd say. More painting range. You know, so they're more able to keep up the paint, allowing their Carbon to get in and make those big plays all at the end.
Yeah, and Shadowmilk is going to take a very dominant 100-0 game number 1. Very strong showing there from Team 16. And with that, we're going to be moving right on along to game number 2 on TC Mako Mart.
Again, Ship Zones tends to be a very walkout-heavy map. You know, this may not be an indicator of which team is stronger.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting to see, if you know, both these teams have 5 players on the rosters. We did a little bit different thing, to where rather than the 4 typical for a draft, there's 5 players on each roster. Therefore, we might see some subbing, but for now, looks like the teams are going to stay the same. Yep, teams are going to be staying the same. Do you have any takeaways from that first game there, Wallace?
As of right now, my takeaways are that, you know, that was a very walkout-heavy map. And it ended so fast, it's hard to really take anything away. That Carbon roll from Team 16 was really strong. Went in there, took a ton of kills, ton of huge plays.
Yeah, it was just the Carbon. And that, gonna give a special shout out to that, that bomb there from T-Girl, aka B3, getting the double there to pretty much seal the deal in that game. But Shadowmilk, Shadowmilk's checked up. They're ready to go. They're ready to keep their momentum going. Looks like Undercover's playing it a little slow, trying to regain their confidence. But that's all you can do in this situation. But regroup, recuperate, and take the next game.
After a loss like that, you know, you kind of want to take some time off, you know? Regroup, replan your strategy, make sure you're thinking right. But on this map here, a very AoE favored map. You know, those 2 stats, you want to have your Slaughter or Blaster to help clear them easily.
Absolutely. And as a reminder, I'm going to do this in between every single game because we currently don't have a scoreboard, but it is 1-0 favoring Shadowmilk. So Shadowmilk just needs 3 more games to take the set, but don't count Undercover out yet, and we are going to be jumping right on into it. Yep, let's take a peek at these weapon comps. All right. Nova. Okay. And Wiper.
Honestly, very similar comps to last time. But we saw that the Undercover umbrella for Nova shots. And the
Team
ECAV for Wiper.
Team Undercover is abandoning the Undercover.
So given having 3 strong ping levels will allow Team Undercover to have their Carbon go in and make some big plays.
Definitely, for sure. As we see this Carbon just moving left and right. I believe that is Plant, as they're going to try to take this right stack and just trying to find one person at a time, but everyone's trying to back up. There's going to be 2 down.
Does not have the paint in order to make their Carbon pushes really work. Because as you can see, Team 15 has a ton of paint, has a ton of map control right now. It's hard to get in as a Carbon without map control.
Yeah, you really need to rely on the rest of your team to keep this paint control up, but it's just the Nova left.
Just Nova shots. And they're in the corner.
Shadowmilk.
Shadowmilk's making a huge play here.
Absolutely, and they're easily going to take down this first checkpoint, but this Booyah Bomb's going to try to stop but it's just coming down just a little short, and it's not going to do much. But the hammer throw from space, going to find a very nice pick there on the anchor.
Again, that tower just keeps on moving. Team 15 is unable to stop up the advance. And look at Zuka here from Team 16.
And yeah, Zuka.
That seems to be like the only finding kills.
The Zuka unable to find anyone, but the momentum is still going. Team Undercover is just fighting for their life, trying to find any ounce of hope. This Carbon's going to try to come in. Unfortunately, they're not going to find a pick. It's down to the last 15. This Aerospray needs a Booyah Bomb soon.
And the Jetpack is making some big plays here. I'm pretty sure that Jetpack got 2 kills. That's probably enough to push back that advance and just save them.
Yeah, it looks like that push is going to die there. You had a lot of comments about previously, not on this stream, but a lot of comments about Arctan's Inkjet. Good to see getting a double there. Love to see it.
Because Jetpack's a very high-risk, high-reward special. You're very vulnerable when you're using it. But you can make a lot of killer plays with it.
Yeah, and speaking of killer plays, this Booyah Bomb's going to try to find something. Unfortunately, they're not going to get the pick, but they're going to clear a little bit of space. Electing to play a little bit aggressive. Unfortunately, going to get punished there by the Carbon.
It's usually with a comp like this, like your Nova Shot and Junior and Aerospray, don't want to fight. You want to paint the map, get your special, and allow Carbon Roller to get in.
Oh, but speaking of Carbon Roller, that's going to be a very nice double there from Plant. Another one.
Again, with paint, this Carbon Roller is just able to go on a tear.
Yeah, and they're going to be down to the last point. I was so surprised they didn't knock it out. The Wiper comes in from space. Just enough momentum to push that tower. That's going to be 2-0 for Shadowmilk so far in the set.
Again, a big issue here is that Carbon Roller. Team 15 Undercover can't seem to beat it. The Carbon Roller is all up in their business. They cannot stop it. Even with that massive paint advantage, once Team 16 got a few picks and was able to take space, it was just really hard for Team 15 to recover.
Yeah, that's the main thing I'm noticing is that while Team 15 has way more paint, once that Carbon and once Plant gets in for Team 16, it's very hard to get him out. Not a lot of location, just a lot of straight paint. But speaking of paint, you're going to need a lot of paint when you're playing on Rainmaker Mincemeat, game number 3. What do you have to say about Rainmaker Mincemeat, Wallace?
Very restrictive map. It's hard to move around here. Big bombs, chargers, reef sliders even, are very strong here. Also, zip catcher is really nice for getting around on this very restrictive map.
Yeah, absolutely. But this might be the map that Team 15 needs, because it's very if you have that good paint control, that Carbon only has of 2 ways to go. They can either drop and truck, or they can try to shark through the middle. But as long as they're keeping a good track on that, I think Team 15 has what it takes to get back into this.
Yeah, because if you maintain paint in mid, the Carbon has to drop truck each time, and that gets very predictable, very quick.
Definitely. But both teams here...
With all the choke points here, Ink Mines from Undercover Umbrella might be really nice here for keeping track of that Carbon roller as they shark around the map.
Yeah, I think that could be a very good pick, but both of these teams taking a little while to check up, so we might see some very interesting weapons. As a reminder, Team Shadowmilk is winning 2-0. No subs from either teams. Looks like we might just see these four for both teams, but we're going to be jump right into this pretty soon, just waiting on Arctan to ready up. And yeah, with that, we are going to be jumping in, and let's take a peek at what these weapons have for us.
I'd say we'll see some chargers here, because according to Jello's badge, they do play E-Leader.
Oh,
Reflux.
Wait, what was Arctan playing? Oh, Undercover. Okay, I thought Arctan was the Splatling. I was like, huh?
Oh man, S2 Shoes is playing a max special charger build with Reflux. That's not really a strong build anymore now that missiles have been nerfed. You know, at launch, that may have been useful, but not today.
Yeah, I'm very interested about this this blob deco coming out from Jello. Wondering if the Kraken output's gonna provide use, as it looks like they're pretty close to having it. Unfortunately, Space, another amazing pick carrying on from the second game, and it looks like Shadowmilk's gonna get a strong lead so far.
Yeah. Again, Team 15's issue is that they can't get back in after they lose.
Oh!
And Reflux and Blobs don't give the tools, I think, to allow them to get in. And they're depending on that reslider in order to make big plays here.
Yeah, and this Kraken's going to try to go and make a hero play for their team. Unfortunately, they're going to get punished there from the Carbon. I know our streamer was not too happy about that Kraken, but looks like Shadowmilk's going to try to keep this push going, but their numbers down.
But man, they push right through the weak damage to the Undercover to get some more points.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to stop this here at 42. Good job from Team Undercover to stop the bleeding, but it looks like Oomph here is holding this this thing down really strong. But the Wiper,
here's a big flank. The Wiper gets a pick. They're
this Wiper just moving around so quick, just causing chaos left and right. Really putting Team Undercover on their toes. But is that a flanking Splatling? They're gonna find a pick. A double.
Is it trouble? No.
Yeah, it looks like Arctan's going to try to clean this up. But Space Milk trying to work in there with their teammates, but now the push is finally dead. As Plan is going to try to shark out this Undercover, it seems.
There
it is.
We've seen the Max trying to push up and take space, but he's down to the Carbon roller. They're marked.
Very unfortunate. However, I want to point out something. Both these teams running just a heavy Splatling. I haven't seen that in a very long time. Usually seeing like Pencil, Edit, but both teams running a splat, like just a regular heavy Splatling. Very interesting.
You usually don't want a heavy Splatling because, you know, very weak kit.
Yeah, but it looks like here Plant trying to take charge again, as Shadowmilk is going to be back on the offense. As the Rainmaker trying to apply some pressure, but this Blob is going to get a very nice pick in a trade there. So we see the Reflux finds a nice pick there on Plant. Interesting to see that they switched to Reflux from Carbon. It seems like you would want to fight Carbon with Carbon, but they're going for the more paint. Like we said earlier, just trying to outpaint, but so far it's not working out too well. With 2 minutes left, they're just trying to do everything they can to avoid these torpedoes, avoid these bombs, avoid everything. Undercover needs something to happen quick.
The comment I will make is that you cannot paint if you're dead. Clear kill on paint has diminishing returns after a while. So if you're dead, you're not painting.
Definitely.
When none of your almost can fight, you're not able to paint because you'll be dead.
Yeah, and Jello here finding a nice double, but unfortunately their team's not going to be able to work off of that too well. As we see here, Plant, Space, all working in together as a team. These strikes popping out. Hammer, these specials are so coordinated, causing so much chaos here for Team Undercover. Looks like the missiles coming out, trying to cause some chaos, just Undercover trying to squeeze out any sort of offense that they can. Sprinklers coming out, blob shots coming out, but it's going to be just 1 minute left, and unfortunately, they're going to go one down.
That's a big speed slider, though. Taking a nice double there. We're going to take off like a splatter shot.
They need to capitalize off that. A very nice bomb there from this T-Tech, but the Splatling is trying to pressure them. I mean, this is exactly what you want from if you're Team Shadowmilk. You're just holding them into mid, and they have to push up. They have 30 seconds left.
Yeah, Team 15 just has no aggression. They have a re-slider, and that's it. Because once a slider goes in, what next? They have nothing. Really hard for them to push up.
These missiles trying to come out to create any ounce of space. It's going to be a 3v3 with the last 10 seconds. I don't know who's going to grab this fish. It looks like someone's going to jump back here. It's going to be their Splatling. One goes down from Undercover. It's going to be down a meter, go throw up, but the hammer barely misses.
Rainmaker gets a pick. They're given, the Wiper can be sharking anywhere.
Yeah, that Wiper is just trying to find an opportunity. And the Carbon, both of these weapons just trying to find an opportunity to end the game.
30 seconds before they go boom.
Yeah, here comes the Wiper trying to find something, and the Wiper is going to put the icing on the cake for a second game in a row. Another strong performance by Space Milk. That is going to be 3-0, match point, Team Shadowmilk in the lead.
I'm really just noticing here is that Team 15 Undercovers can't seem to find a good comp against Team 16 Shadowmilk.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they decide to use some new strategies or if they just stick with what they got and just hope for the best, because we got a very textbook Clan Blitz Scourge coming up next. You could always blame the shenanigans on Rainmaker Mincemeat, but with Clan Blitz Scourge coming up, it's just going to be a battle of the skill, and we are all hoping for Team Undercover to pull this one through. But I'm not sure if we're going to have any subs here soon. Doesn't look like it. We might just be jumping right on into this after the timer kicks down. But I think if you're Undercover, I think you have to put more aggression on your team. If you get Shoes I know Shoes is a very good Carbon. Just potentially getting Shoes back on Carbon. I could see Arctan switching to something a little more aggressive. Maybe try Slosher, maybe T-Tech. Not sure. Even an aggressive Big Swig might work into this comp.
Also, Big Swig is just what they need here. Is the way that Arctan plays it very aggressively, and Big Swig gives them paint and the aggression through Arctan that they are lacking. And the rain will be really nice around Shoes to get in and make big plays as a Carbon roller.
For sure. Might be interesting to see Jello on a more aggressive weapon as well. I know they played the Blob, they played the Air Spray, but I'm pretty sure they could. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, they play also more aggressive shooters, so we could potentially see that as well. But with only 30 seconds left, it looks like they're planning something because none of them are checked up yet. I don't know if that means, hey, we're just gonna play quad something and just hope for the best, or if they're going to change up their comps, or if they're just talking it out. But with only 15 seconds to go and them now starting to check up, we might see some new weapons from this team Undercover. But if Shadowmilk, expect much of the same because, winning 3-0, playing a very dominant performance. But before we get started into this game, as it's starting up right now, another thing about... Oh, okay. Another thing, this is Group D, and the other match in Group D was Team 13 versus Team 14, and Team 13 won 4-2. So whatever team wins this set here is going to be set up nice. Oh, the Luna Blaster coming out, and the Brush.
We're getting complaints on the Summer League chat from Chadar on Team 15 at the map list.
I mean, yeah, it's bound to happen. But hey, that's what brings up the interesting conversations. But speaking of interesting, Luna, Reflux, and Inkbrush, all on the same team.
That is a very aggressive comp.
Hopefully that's exactly what they need. And it looks like Plant's going to try to shark in to make something happen. This Decav and Plant working together like bread and butter. It's going to be a 3v3 now with this Luna Blaster, and now down to a 2v2.
And again, a crab at it here. very nice for holding space. And look where they pop the crab at it. A nice vantage point up there and snipe. That's going to blunt the push of Team 16.
Yeah, but that's Zuka. Gonna find another nice pick. Zuka making it a double. That is a very strong Zuka there from Plant. They're tossing clams to each other. Fake Smoke's gonna get a very strong bubble in here, and this might be a lot of damage for Team Undercover. As we see here, the Wave Breaker coming out from the side of Shadowmilk. They're just tossing clams in. You can't panic here if you're Undercover. You just gotta paint and regroup. Do the best you can to take that space, but it looks like they're not gonna get the ball in. That's exactly what Team Undercover needs. They also find a pick.
It's a pick on the Carbon, too. And that's a strong crab spot when you're pushed back this far. Like, it's shredded immediately.
Yeah, and it looks like Jello's going to find a nice pick here, but now it's down to just this credit again. It's going to be another wipeout.
I should mention that.
Team Shadowmilk.
Playing Brush. I did not know Arcane played Brush.
Arcane's on the Luna Blaster.
Oh.
Yeah, Jello's on the Brush. Arctan trying to come out with that Luna Blaster. They're going to get shut down by the Carbon, but find a trade. This thing is down to 26 and counting, but it looks like the Decal's going to try to get into their base and going to get shut down. Jello trying to drop and make something happen for their team. Down to 14 points remaining. Undercover needs to do everything they can to try to shut this down. It is going to be down to the last clams that are coming in now from the splash, and that's going to be game. Game set 4-0 sweep for Team Shadowmilk. Going to take a strong victory over Undercover here.
We've seen a lot of sweeps this first week. Many teams just got dunked on. 4-0 sweeps. I think it's like the third or fourth one.
Yeah, that is true. However, the good part about it is 3 out of the 4 teams from each group are going to make the playoffs. So even if your first week is rough, you still have a long way to go. 2 more games. Pretty much, you win 1, and you're most likely in. So, even if you suffer a 4-0 sweep, there's still plenty of sets to be played. There's still plenty of games, and all you got to do is make the dance, make the playoffs, and I mean, you have much of a chance as everyone else. Now, I'm not sure if we're doing play all. People are leaving, so I believe we are not. But for now, we are going to stick around and await the play. Oh, Zone Zumami. Okay, no, we are doing playoff. Okay.
Playoff 7.
Are they doing
themselves?
Are they only going to run 3 of them?
Oh, they've backed out. They must have almost had a communication error.
They're getting their looks like the Team Milk is going to be getting their sub in, it seems. As we await their sub, that is going to be a 4-0 victory for Shadowmilk. We're going to be doing the last 3 games for fun. Going to be interesting to see what weapons people bring out now that the stakes are not as high. But yeah, Wallace, what did you think about that set?
Again, Team 15 just did not have the comps they needed to play the game. You know, they were either lacking in aggression to take the space they needed.
Yeah, as it looks like Team Shadowmilk is going to be getting Rando in. So it's going to be interesting to see what they play. As we head into Zone's Umami. What do you think about Zone's Umami?
I hate Zone's Umami, I'm going to be real with you. I don't like it. Then again, it's a weird map. It may be the map that Team 15 needs to win a match.
Yeah, Zone's Umami is one of those. I feel like it's one of the few like double zoned maps that is actually played pretty commonly in comp. So that's very interesting. Could lead to some interesting strategies. Obviously, slider cheese isn't as viable because there's 2 zones. But yeah, no, we're going to be jumping in here pretty shortly. Just waiting for the last few people to ready up.
Question is will Team Shadowmilk play meme weapons?
Yeah. We might see some meme weapons. Not sure, though. Only one way to find out, and that's going to be in about 10 seconds when the screen loads up. And we're going to be taking a peek at these weapon comps. We are going to be seeing... Okay, that's what we're going to be seeing. Yeah.
Double big swig.
Should have pulled it out in the actual matches. That'd have been the aggression that they needed. Trust.
Actually, would have worked. Big swig works really nice for the carbon roller. Gets a lot of paint.
Yeah, and we're going to also be seeing a double pseudo backline comp coming out between the custom and the heavy edit, with the regular roller, not the carbon. Again, as it looks like it's going to be a neutral firefight to start it off.
Heavy edit is one of the backlines you can put slot number backline with more easily.
Very true. I mean, my team ran a backline with the edit, so we know what that's like. Pencil edit? Actually, no, it wasn't. It was E-liter edit. That's what we ran. But it looks like Team Undercover is going to get a few points on the board, but Shadowmilk looks like they're going to retaliate as best as they can. As you see here, this custom Jet Squelcher putting in a lot of work on this right zone. Really trying to play a little more aggressive than you see most Jet Squelchers. As they're going to take a fight with Shoes there. It looks like they're going to find the pick, along with the help of Brando. You see this roller coming out from Plant. Very interesting to see the regular roller, not the carbon, but this Kraken is going to help the team get a 2-down opportunity, but Team Shadowmilk is trying to hold off as best they can. Very nice pick there from Jello.
And just double big swig now for team 15 Undercover.
But the double big swig is providing a lot of pain for them. They're in this a good bit. We see this big swig fighting here, taking the right zone. Notice how quickly that zone caps when you have a big swig, but unfortunately going to get directed there from T-Girl. Trying to find another pick there, but Jello finding another great pick there. And now it's going to be another even firefight. This game seems very much so like whatever team loses mid is likely to lose the game. But with 2 down coming out from Undercover, they got to do everything they can to try to hold this as best as possible. Looks like there's some congestion there from Shoes on the left side, fighting what looks like a 3v1 there. Still barely staying alive. They're gonna elect to jump out. Very smart. Yeah. Booyah Bomb finds a nice pick there onto Shoes, and now this timer's going to be ticking down very quick.
The Kraken will out of it's a pick. Will they find another? They are retreating now to safety.
Yeah, and it's just that custom jet from the side of Shadowmilk, and these big swigs are going to paint this zone really quick. Trying to use this momentum as best as they can, and also avoiding this blaster. Jello going to find a nice pick there. Again, some very nice picks there coming out from Jello. But now, and you notice here, Team Undercover is playing very passive. I feel like you just have to play aggressive and work to what Shadowmilk is weak against, and that's aggression.
And just to say that, Shadowmilk moves in and takes both zones.
Yeah, now Plant is just trying to position up into their spawn, trying to poke everyone with that roller flick. Looks like that's trying to commit very hard for that. They do not want that Splatling alive. And now Jello is going to be flipping the zone on their own, doing the lovely roller classic by rolling through the zone. Now with 2 down and the Kraken online, this might be what Undercover needs to get back into this.
Oh, that's a big trade there. Jello runs over the other Sprat roller and crushes them.
Yeah, these angle markers being shot out in sync. Very interesting to see. And this Booyah Bomb's going to come out, try to find a pick, or at least take some space. And it looks like it does, working with the Inkstorm. But this Big Swig paint is very strong. Going to be working with Jello. Jello's going to be able to cap the zone, but there's someone behind. Jello's trying to find the pick, and they're going to get a very nice pick there.
And oh man, Undercover's getting very close to taking the lead here.
And unfortunately, the Kraken's going to get juked here, trying to stay alive as best as they can. Unfortunately, they're going to get picked off. And even though Undercover got the lead, they are numbers down and going to lose this zone. Was that a crush with the big swig? Okay.
It was.
Lovely crush. And now these big swigs trying to work together to take this zone. They have the Ink Storm online. Team Shadowmilk needs to hold this, needs to get that right zone very, very quick. Unfortunately, the numbers are falling left and right, and Team Undercover is going to take this game.
I believe that was our first win of the set so far.
Yeah, but a pretty strong win nonetheless. Using the double big swig there to get the win. Not what you would expect from especially going against a very strong team in Shadowmilk. But yeah, with that, even though the score is still technically remains 4-0, we can only hope for Team Undercover to get the unofficial 4-3. That's what you like to do when you get swept in the best of 7, and you do playoff. Try to get those 3 games just to boost the morale. And they already got 1. They only need 2 more, and we are going to be moving on to TC Sturgeon. TC Sturgeon, a map that's rather interesting. It used to be played a lot in comp, but now it kind of fell off. We wanted to give it a chance in this map list, although to be fair, we gave a lot of chances to a lot of different maps in this map list. But hey, that's where the fun of it is. I mean, who wants to play the same maps over and over again? I personally get tired of it, but TC Sturgeon. Might see that gold aerospray come back out for Jello. Not sure what Shadowmilk is going to go to. Maybe back to the T-Tech for the strikes. But
now they've walked around. They'll probably just not troll. Then again,
yeah.
Team 15 wins troll. They managed to pull out a win.
I don't believe Shadowmilk was trolling there for that last game.
They were not. The thing is, they are certainly not on a troll now.
Yeah. Looks like they're going to keep the same comp. Brando is going to stay in, and yeah, we might see. The only thing I would consider troll is the custom jet. Was not expecting that. So we might see go back to the looks like the heavy, or potentially to something like typical E-liter pencil, all that lovely stuff. But we're going to be jumping right into it, and we're going to take a good old peek at these weapon comps soon. Looks like coming out for Team Undercover is going to be the same comp with a Hydra instead. And okay, what'd you say about trolling?
I stand corrected. Double Splatoon Mag versus double Big Swig. I condone this. This is what I want to see more of.
Well, we're definitely going to see more of this as this Hydra is going to take Snipe, trying to find any picks as they can. I know Nikki loves Hydra. This gameplay is so fire, right, Nikki? Yeah, I know you love it. But it's going to be a 3v3.
Exhilarating Hydra gameplay. It dodges the Ultra Stamp, then get killed by a Sploosh. Exhilarating.
Yeah, these Splooshes are going to be moving super quick. But it looks like Jello's trying to get the Kraken, but unfortunately they do not. As these big swigs are trying to hold. Unfortunately, one goes down. This Luna Blaster has the Ultra Stamp online. It'll be interesting to see when they pop it, and if they're going to throw or if they're just going to use the stamp mode. Looks like they're going to stamp. Trying to get this pick on the big swig. They're going to find one double hammer coming out from this. They're both going to be thrown up into the skies.
And Team 16 is now in the base of Team 15. And
they're down. They're down to this last 15, but the Booyah Bomb's going to come out.
Hulks the tower.
Yeah, it's just going to be this well string trying to keep this push going, but on these grates as a well string, it's going to be rather difficult. Big Swig's trying to move, going to find one pick. Big Swig trying to find another. It looks like the double hammer is going to shut it down.
And that. Oh, not quite.
With the lovely squish there from Jello, but unfortunately Shadowmilk.
The number one match for Shadowmilk.
Shadowmilk pulling up, saying, you guys want to meme, we can meme, but better. pulling out the double sploosh, taking it all the way down from 100 to 0.
Then again, I find that TC Hammerhead tends to be a very short-range favorite map. Because, you know, the snipe makes you think it's a long-range favorite map. By my eyes, it's a short-range heaven.
For sure, for sure. And I think another thing to note is that Shadowmilk comp. I didn't even catch that, but that Shadowmilk comp had quad hammer. Both the Splooshes had hammer, that Wellstring had hammer, and the fourth member had hammer as well.
The reason Hammer must have gone far to making Hammer an actually usable special.
I mean, hammer was used by both teams in the Ludi DivX finals. So hammer's definitely it's way better now. That's all I can say. I don't know if it's considered like great, but I still consider it pretty good. I think hammer in the right situations can provide a lot of value for the team. But yeah, we're going to be heading on to the last of this playoff 7. That is going to be Rainmaker Museum, a pretty traditional map. It looks like Shadowmilk, the opposite of what we've seen before. Typically, Shadowmilk's checked up and ready to go, but now Undercover is ready to go. Shadowmilk caught trying to figure out what comps they want to run. So what that means is either regular comps or it's going to be Quad Clash Blaster, no in between.
I'd like to see the quad Clash Blaster on this map.
That would be pretty exciting. Although I'd be lying if I say I've played Quad Clash Blaster on Rainmaker Museum before. It was an experience, for sure. A good one? No, but an experience nonetheless. As it looks like Shadowmilk just waiting on their last two players to figure out what they want to run. Looks like they're definitely picking like the best build for huh? Oh, okay. One of them was not checked up when the game started.
They are not ready up. They were forced into the map.
And they're gone.
DC.
Now, will they play it out or will they end it?
They're not memeing. Team 15's not memeing.
Dynamo. Oh, 3 of them jumped off. Only the edit remains. They said, alright, if you're not an S tier, pack it up. All the non-S tiers jumped off. I don't know if you consider Neo Splash an S tier. I feel like it's kind of like... I feel like Neo Splash is kind of lost... It kind of like lost its niche.
It's Neo Splash. Who likes Neo Splash? It's not an S tier.
It's still strong, but the only problem with Neo Splash is that you have sloshers right there. Like, you have that strikes weapon, like, in the ready if you want to play, like, a strong strikes weapon. I feel like I'm missing another strikes weapon that's really strong, but...
T-Tech.
Oh, T-Tech. Yeah.
Rapid Blaster Vanilla Kit. Ooh.
No. You get no.
I don't think I've seen a Rapid Blaster Vanilla in, like, over a year.
That's crazy.
No one plays that weapon.
But yeah, Group D is the first one to finish this week. As a reminder, Shadowmilk Team 16 has won 4-0. That is going to be Team 16, Shadowmilk, and Team 13 with their lovely name that I'm not going to say. Both of those teams are now 1-0 and sitting in a very strong position in the group, while Team 14 and Team 15 are going to be 0-1. But still plenty of games left to be played, so can't count yourself out until maybe you can start to panic in week 3 if you're still 0-2. But for now, you're chilling. But yeah, now that both teams have 4, we're just waiting on one person for Undercover. Once that person checks up, we are going to have a lovely experience on Rainmaker Museum.
They probably don't
actually
really ranked up yet.
Yeah, I don't know if lovely is the good word, but it is a word nonetheless. Alright, let's take a peek at these weapon comps. Relatively normal here from Undercover, and relatively normal here for, what's it called? Yeah, pretty normal. You got a Dynamo, yeah, but Dynamo's chill.
Then again, we'll have a double roller for Team 15. Ooh, in Team 16, those are a very aggressive opening. All their players move in. And they're down 2. And the numbers equal now.
Yeah, it's going to be a 2v2 with this E-leader holding on to position at a place I've never seen an E-leader position before. Looks like they're going to be jumping back across as the Stamper is going to take their place instead.
It
looks like the
way out.
People are going down left and right. This E-leader has Kraken online, but they're probably going to grab and push to the checkpoint, trying to call out this Nautilus, firing these Rainmaker shots left and right.
Numbers advantage for Team 16. Big advantage. Only the Swig is left. They could probably go and dunk here with no casualties.
They're going to get the dunk, but this Inkstorm coming out for Team Undercover. But the Kraken going to try to move in, trying to find a pick, but it's going to be Undercover finding the picks instead. Oh, a tap shot out of the Kraken. That's how you play Kraken, Nikki. No other way. But it appears here this Dynamo is trying to hold on to this spinner as best they can. Oh, I'm surprised they did not get the pick there. The vertical is going to get the trade.
If that was a horizontal flick, they would not have died there.
So true. Nah, vertical OP. Yeah, Plant's just playing all of the rollers now. I just realized I was playing on the Dynamo. But Shadowmilk still holding this aggression. It looks like Team Undercover is caught in the same thing they've been caught in before, and that's the lack of aggression. All of these weapons just get in pretty quick, pretty easy. But this Ultra Stamp online for the Sploosh, I wonder if they're going to pop it now, or if they're just going to go for a silly little throw. Here comes the hammer, trying to find a pick.
Kraken right there. You need to run from the Kraken. And they throw it again, nice little pick.
Yeah, working together with their Kraken, that's going to be a total party kill. Very strong wipe out there from Shadowmilk.
When Shadowmilk's going to push up, there's a strong lead here.
Yeah, but with only 2 of them remaining, it's going to be interesting to see, will Undercover just grab it and drop it, or are they just going to leave it there and hope for a reset? Looks like this Nautilus trying to position up top, but unfortunately they're going to lose that high ground. The Dynamo getting a lot of pressure and finding the pick there, but the Rainmaker's going to reset. And this Dynamo trying to hold on to the right, just trying to take space, which is interesting to see a Dynamo front running, taking that space. But Shadowmilk has another good opportunity to push here with this Ultra Stamp. It's going to be coming out now, but the Kraken is going to catch it off guard and working with the Nautilus.
The Kraken's already killed the Rainmaker on the Greats.
They got the assist. Beautiful.
Kraken is not very good on Greats. That's a fact that some people don't know.
Yeah, but now it's just going to be just this Sploosh versus the Swig, but the jumps are going to be coming in, so it's going to be pretty even rather quick. As the Sploosh is just trying to get into their walls. Looks like they're going to go for the fish here, trying to pop it with their team, but they're going to get called out. Oh, I just realized that's Arctan on the Neo Splash.
There's you doing Big Swig.
So true. The Neo Splash doesn't have that Big Swig flexibility.
But what it does have is tons of paint.
So true. Oh, but the Kraken's going to overextend, and they're going to get another pick. It's just the Stamper left. This is a 3v1, but the Rainmaker's all the way back on their spinner.
I doubt that Team 15 will be able to capitalize off this in any meaningful way. But the Cats are going to get, they're probably do some big damage here if they can make it.
Yeah, but they're going to see the recall. Oh!
But they punish the Punisher.
The Punisher has become the Punishee. Shadowmilk is now, with only 30 seconds left.
That's lame. Ooh.
Now they're going trust.
Lame.
They're on the spinner. They're in mid. They're not running it back.
They bring it back into their base when they first grab it.
True. Now they'll go for a push with 10 seconds. I think so. I believe.
They're staying on the spinner.
Oh, they dropped.
Oh, they doubled the spinner.
Oh, and with that, Shadowmilk is going to be taking the Play All 7 That is going to be 4-0 Shadowmilk. Unofficial score 6-1 Shadowmilk. Very strong showing there. I think if you're Shadowmilk, you got to feel great heading into week number 2 with the 4-0. If your team Undercover, still hold your head up high. Still plenty of game left to be played. I think the best advice I can give is just work as a team and play aggressive. What would you have to say, Lord Wallace?
I'd have to say that. How should I put this? Team put on a very good show tonight. Team 15,
For sure.
Probably need to work to find some comps that work in this environment because, again, they're just lacking that aggression you need.
Definitely. And taking a look at these stats here, you can see how those aggressive weapons are just getting in and causing so much chaos for Team Undercover. You see that Carbon Roller dropping 8-2. Beautiful performance there from Plant. And that Wiper 21-7. Just all the aggressive weapons just being able to pop off. Another 11-4. But give credit to everyone. Everyone played extremely well.
Here's what I'm noticing.
Unfortunate.
In a lot of these matches, Team 15 just does not have a lethal bomb.
That is also true, yes.
Because, again, when you're down and trying to push in, bombs are very nice.
For sure.
Help you take back your space.
But yeah, with that, that was a lovely game to watch, a lovely game to cast, and we appreciate the last minute streamer to come out, Nikki. We appreciate you, and yeah, Wallace, where can the lovely people find you?
I live under a rock. You can't find me anywhere.
That's what lovely people.
But
Wallace is actively evading the FBI. But for me, I believe my Twitch is linked. I've been trying to stream more over the summer. Probably just playing with my friends. Nothing too serious. But other than that, PSU server, just lurking around as the lovely event planner. But other than that, we appreciate you all for watching. Great performance by both of these teams, and we're wishing you the best. Have a great rest of your evening. Take care.